So Cyberpunk's been taking up a lot of the gaming news recently.
I'll say.
So there's some more developing updates, but before we get into that, might as well take a few steps back.
Yeah, there's a lot of. We have
A
to go
lot of
pretty far back to kind of grasp the entire situation on this.
a lot of build up to it.
Yeah,
So Cyberpunk's a game that was delayed three, maybe four
I think
times.
it was three.
Three times. And they're pretty hefty delays, few months, few
Yeah.
seasons in between. And announced for both next gen and previous gen,
hmm
which seems pretty great.
Yeah.
You don't have to get a new console to experience arguably the most anticipated game of the year.
Yeah. 7 years in the making, at least. So we've been told.
Yeah. So all seems like it's going well. I remember specifically there was one article from a big wig over at CD Projekt Red saying that Cyberpunk 2077 runs, quote, surprisingly well on previous gen consoles.
Flat out lie.
Yeah. I don't know what that person saw gameplay wise, but
Yeah, something's telling me that the CEO, which I guess it's Adam Kaczynski, is popping up pretty often. I'm like this controversy that's coming up is telling me that he has like no connection with the people actually working on the game. Like maybe they showed him PC gameplay and he's like, "Oh, it runs great on everything." Because
mhm.
I've heard like some pretty good things about PC and next gen, but awful, awful things about last gen consoles. And it's such a shame because I was doing a little bit of reading, and the first delay was I believe it was in January they announced their first delay, which should have been in April. They
Mhm.
pushed it to September, which I can kind of get. COVID just hit, and everything's got to be remote now. I can understand that it puts a huge damper on workloads, right?
Mhm.
And the CEO has mentioned that there will be no mandatory crunch for his employees, and like he doubled down on it and everything.
Mm.
Um, he said that we want Cyberpunk 2077 to be our crowning achievement for this generation, and postponing launch will give us the precious months we need to make the game perfect. And then that same day, CD Projekt revealed that crunch would ultimately be needed to get the game done on time. It would also be mandatory for at least some employees, which sucks.
It really does.
um, an investor asked, "Is the development team required to put in crunch hours?" To which the CEO answered, "To some degree, yes, to be honest." Which just fucking sucks because,
Immediately walking back the previous statement.
yeah, because it's been in development for so long, and I feel like no matter how many times the game gets delayed, it's better than what's going on right now. Because like right now, there is a lot of broken trust, and there's not a lot of saving face at this point. They're just kind of on damage control, and it's not good. Like I having the game, like offering refunds is one thing. Sure, if you play a game, don't like it, you get a refund. Fine. But they completely just took it out of the PlayStation Store, and now they've moved that the refund policy over to Xbox now, and so like they're in a lot of shit. Like they're in deep trouble.
Hmm. So that's exactly what I was going to get to. After the game was released, previous gen console owners playing on it has had very poor experiences to the point where they can't even interact with the items they need to progress the game.
That's
Like rendering issues are one thing that definitely take you out of the experience, but when you just have game breaking bugs
yeah,
that you can't even progress, that's a broken game. It
yeah.
goes from buggy playable to you need to wait until patches come out to play it how it was intended to be. And yeah, PlayStation decided to just remove it from their store altogether, which is nuts. I
Yeah.
don't know any other game that's had that, let alone from a AAA studio.
Yeah.
It's
With so much hype behind it. This is just like the worst thing that could happen, I feel like.
I feel so
Like
bad
nothing worse can happen at this
for
point.
yeah, for all of the workers, all of the
Yep.
playtesters, all of the programmers, everybody who was involved to finally have this game released, probably not to where they wanted it to be, because they had to have known.
Oh
It's
yeah.
impossible
Yeah.
for them to be like, yep, this is done.
Yeah. Quoting off of a Bloomberg article that I found, one employee asked the board why it had said in January that the game was complete and playable when that wasn't true, to which the board answered that it would take responsibility. Another developer asked whether CD Projekt's directors felt it was hypocritical to make a game about corporate exploitation
Oof.
while expecting that their employees work overtime. The response was vague and noncommittal.
Yipes.
Another section saying several current and former staff who worked at Cyberpunk or worked on Cyberpunk 2077 have all said the same thing. The game's deadlines set by the board of directors were always unrealistic,
Hmm.
which fucking sucks because at this point, like if we just go back a little bit and see that they were going to release it in April, that would and they released it, I don't know how many months that is off the top of my head. That many months later, uh fuck. It was
Yeah.
nowhere close to ready. If they were ready to ship it in April,
Hmm.
that's just
And
it's so bad.
a part of me makes me wonder, like, why they just didn't do it for the next gen and PC. Like, why even do previous gen? And then I remembered it was going to be released way before the next gen consoles even came out.
Hmm.
And I think that's the most mind-blowing part was that this was supposed to come out what, February or March of 2020, and we're now in December.
Yep.
That's wild that there was so much more focus on the PC version and the next gen versions
Yeah.
before the initial release even happened. And these are like, again, these are really big bugs. Like I was listening to a podcast by Rooster Teeth, and they were saying that there was a moment where a character is taking out a chip and handing it to another person for them to insert into their own head. But for whatever reason, the chip was a gun, and the gun just like spawns into their head, and they remove it, and then the guy puts the gun into his own head. Like these are really weird moments that are completely backwards.
God damn it. This just sucks. Like
Yeah.
I for a second I was like I really want to get this game just because like I fed into the hype and it looked great. Gameplay, the teasers, everything looked great. I mean, of course it was on next gen, but whatever, it still looked awesome and I want something fresh. But damn, I'm glad I didn't. And I'm just going to wait until fucking February until it's all polished and playable to maybe play it on Xbox One or PC, depending on which one it better runs on. Because
Mhm.
who fucking knows at this point? PC, obviously, but still, like, it's annoying.
Yeah. So they just rolled out patch hotfix 1.05 today, and it's going to follow on PC soon because obviously previous gen consoles are the ones taking the biggest hit.
Yeah.
So they're focusing on remedying that solution. And along with that, they announced that they're also going to help with refunds on the Xbox consoles as well. Xbox support tweeted something along the lines of them extending the refund policy for Cyberpunk specifically because of everything that's been happening, but they're not removing it from their stores digitally yet. Um, I'm really curious as to why PlayStation did that because that's a
Mm-hmm.
huge move. Because yes, the game is broken, but you would still think they would like to make the money off of it. You can obviously buy physically. There's nothing stopping you from doing that.
Yeah.
It's just it's so bold. That's such a crazy move to make.
So I don't know if you've looked at the CD Projekt stock.
Oh yeah, I have
It's like a
actually.
cliff. It's like
Uh
straight down.
yeah, it
Ugh. I feel bad because like the employees, like the people on the ground that are building this game and making it, like putting their heart into it, are working like it's clear that they've been crunched and have been working so many hours, but like it's just reflecting negatively on the whole company because I mean the directors are clearly out of their fucking mind releasing it at this rate. I personally, the outcome I would have wanted is that, and I think this would probably be safer for their investors as well, is if they just delayed it again. And I know people are fucking sick of delays, and they're taking vacation time and whatnot, but this outcome is miles worse than a couple of canceled pre-orders if they just delayed it a bit more. I think if they delayed it a bit more, they would have saved a lot of face. They would have kept faith in the company, and we'd all be happy playing a polished game, not complaining so much. But now we're stuck with this pile of shit.
Yeah, like gamer pride would have definitely hurt a little bit having it delayed, but at the same time, I feel like it would have been loads better than what's happening now
Yeah.
with the whole reputation being
Yeah.
put into question, you know?
Yeah. It's like they didn't see what happened to Fallout 76 or Anthem or Andromeda. They're just like, people already pre-ordered. You'll take what we give you.
So the last thing I wanted to touch on was Cyberpunk's Twitter, or from CD Projekt Red. They specifically put out another big, bold yellow picture with the font. And so they were talking about all the refunds, and they had mentioned even trying to refund physical copies despite where you purchased it from, whether it's Walmart, Target, GameStop, wherever. They said that they would help you get a refund for the game. And there was an email sent to them. And now they have a specific email that is refund me at CD Projekt Red, or excuse me, help me refund at cdprojectred.com. And you need to have proof of purchase with like a receipt. And this is a quote from that picture. "We will do this out of our own pocket if necessary if you can't get your refund." That's so huge. That's crazy to me.
This hurts me. Like, I can't imagine how they feel. I just feel bad watching, like, just seeing all this unfold. This is just fucking terrible.
They're doing a lot of damage control here.
Yeah.
To the best of their ability, and I've never seen so much of it in such a short amount of time.
I feel like I hate, like, let the record show, I just hate this whole situation, but part of me wishes that they kind of pull something similar to No Man's Sky, where they just go dark, get a list of everything that's broken, and just focus on that. And then, like, dedicate a section to damage control, put the brakes on everything else but, working with last gen consoles. Because I think that's the biggest thing right now. I haven't seen any complaints from PC or next gen. So I think they just need to work on last gen and just... It sucks because I don't want them to crunch, obviously, but times are dire right now.
Yeah.
And if...
they're probably going to take a break for the holidays. Like, obviously the first patch went through, and then they're probably going to do another patch January or February and go from there. I know that there are still bugs with next gen and PC, but not nearly to the amount that people are experiencing with previous gen consoles.
Yeah.
So those are the ones that they're like frantically extinguishing the fire from.
So I guess we can add this to the Suckfest 2020 playlist.
Yeah, this was supposed to be a ray of light for gamers.
Yeah, this was supposed to be the closer for the year, the grand finale, but...
Damn.
Son of a bitch. Well, there you have it. Can't win anything in 2020.
No. Also, don't feed into the hype.
Yeah.
That's a lesson that I feel like we've learned at this point, having been gamers for many years.
Yeah.
I've come to expect it a little bit. At this point, I'm just always thinking to myself, man, I hope this is good. Like, I'll get excited for games, but at the same time, I'm not going to pull the trigger right away like I used to.
Yeah. I'll never be the first to buy something that's brand new. I'll let everyone else play test it for me. And I feel like with this shit release, I feel like this is going to give us, well, maybe not everybody, but me personally, a bit more thick skin when it comes to releases that are rocky. Like, I'm never putting my trust in anyone ever again.
The Callisto Protocol looks great. I hope it's good.
We just fucking talked about Callisto Protocol. Oh, man. Let's not talk about Callisto Protocol. I want to leave that untouched for just a moment. Let me be happy for just. Let me live my dream for just 1 second.
We've got 2 years to wait on that one.
Yeah. Oh man.
In other news, this is like a random bit of information. Uh, Halo's Twitter account posted up that basically every Halo game that was on the 360 servers is going to go offline
Yeah, I
in
saw
December
that.
2021, which is always a little bit sad, but at the same time, not terribly sad because we have Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
You got all the 60 frames per second goodness,
Hmm.
but also like kind of feels like it's really closing the book forever on that time of people's lives who have
Yeah.
been through all of those games, waiting every year and
Yep.
meeting new friends and
Yep. Halo 3 custom games was its own bubble that I would just
yeah.
sink myself into, playing zombies on Sandtrap. Ugh, that was wonderful.
Mhm. All those Mongoose tracks.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, we can still play them, but it'll be HD and 60 FPS. It
Yeah,
won't
but
have
it
that
was
that nostalgic charm to it.
exactly. It was that time of our lives when
Yeah,
we didn't have as many cares in the
we
world.
became men. We didn't have jobs. We just had to wake up for school in 4 hours and then sleep in class.
Mhm.
Yeah, good times and
Mhm.
bad times. Complete polar opposites of this theme in this episode, in this
Yeah,
little segment.
it's always a mixed bag.
Yeah,
But in other news, so we know that Among Us is going to be launching on Xbox Game Pass for the PC, which is great. But it was also announced that it's going to come out on Xbox consoles in 2021.
yeah. There's gonna be a problem with that though.
Do tell.
Have you ever typed on a controller?
I mean, I would assume that there's going to be some audio chat. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
I'd hope so.
tell me,
It,
is proximity chat a mod for the game or is it actually in Among
it's
Us?
currently, as of December 19th, it is not in the game. You have to be in Discord,
Oh.
in your own Discord. Yeah.
Mm.
So they'll have to do something, because like typing cyan sus is going to take you 10 to 15 seconds, and you can adjust like the voting and discussion time, but only so much. Like you could have 120 seconds for both, but
Mm.
I mean, you'd have to do that for console. But who the fuck's gonna write like, I saw black vent in medbay? That's gonna take you forever to type, because you have to go to each letter and put it in. And
Yeah, it's like 6 or 7 words alone.
I think they need voice chat. But the thing with voice chat is there's so much opportunity to just be an asshole and just play some random loud sounds or something, or I don't know, put the girl that's moaning super loud on from that one porno video, whatever it is.
Oh
But there's
gosh,
just a lot of
yeah.
potential for trolling that could really undermine the game.
Yeah, the
So,
community itself. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like an honor system. I remember playing, this is going back to Halo a bit,
Yeah.
but I remember playing Halo 2 custom games where we figured out how to play zombies and there was an honor system. Hey, I just killed you. Hit start, go down to change teams and flip over to the zombie side after
Yep.
you die
Hmm.
before it became a real matchmaking game type.
I remember that.
So I wonder if they're just going to, all right, everybody mute your mics when the match starts and when we're in a meeting, unmute.
Yeah. I think by that time they'll have a reporting system, which I think they'll be pretty. I mean, hopefully they'll have it nailed down a bit, because I know they've been working on that and a friend system, which will probably roll out on PC first.
Oh, yeah.
Because right now you can't, like, if you play with somebody, you can't add them as a friend.
Mhm.
You have to just like creepily, what's your Snapchat or what's your Instagram?
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll add a voice chat, because I think that's the only thing that's really missing from the game is talking. But the thing is that, I mean, amongst other problems with talking, you can kind of hear, like, I think we know each other pretty well. I can probably tell when you're lying and when you're full of shit, and I know I'm not the best liar. And so if someone's like, John sus, I'll be like, what? No.
Why?
I didn't. What? Why? What I do? So I don't know. I kind of like typing, but I completely understand if they want to go to just voice chat. So, or
Yeah,
maybe they'll have a mix of both. Who knows?
Unless they make the clippable keypads for the base of your controllers.
Oh yeah, I remember those. I think they still have them for the
Oof.
Xbox. I don't know. But yeah, I think having those speedy responses on Among Us are very key, because if someone calls a meeting, you have to wait and see what they say. And so if black killed yellow, and let's say orange reported the body, black could be like, it's orange, and then orange is still typing. Everyone's going to think it's orange.
And vote immediately.
So, yeah, exactly. So you got to be quick on it. So I'm guessing they'll probably have like some people, if they want to use text, they can use text. If they want to talk, they can talk, kind of deal. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens there. It's a small team, so getting those updates out, it's going to take a bit. 3 people working on it. But with all the funding they're getting, holy shit. And the exposure from the Game Awards and coming to Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass for PC.
It was announced for the Switch.
Yep, announced for the Switch. It's free on the Epic Games Store. They're going places. So hopefully, yeah.
With the new airship map too, it's just building up more excitement.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And the amount of funding they're getting, holy shit.
Mm-hmm. So that was our news dump. That's all we've got. But thanks for tuning in. We really hope that you enjoyed us ramble on about anything and everything gaming that's been popping in and out. So if you have any feedback, we'd really appreciate it. Growing brand like our own, we want to hear what you have to say, be a little interactive, tell us what you like, what you didn't like. We're open to constructive criticism, of course.
Yes, we could use a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're more of a podcast listener, obviously since this is a podcast, we are available pretty much everywhere. Spotify, Google Podcasts,
YouTube we've got going on.
Yeah, obviously YouTube. Everywhere you listen to podcasts. Mm-hmm. Unless you get like a random app that is like 2 stars and it's just some janky ass. We're probably not available downloads there. Yeah, we're not there.
Mainstream podcast locations. You can come find us. Yeah. Post Advantage.
You know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, everybody.
You guys. Peace.
Bye-bye.